She once used a disabled man at the grocery store as a prop for her prank. She pretended he had stolen her purse, then screamed and filmed the poor man until store security arrived. When they realized it was fake, the man, who had Down syndrome, was in tears. Jada laughed it off. "Y'all soft," she told her viewers. "It's a joke. Chill." Another time, she broke into Nia's locked bedroom, destroyed her art supplies, and painted her walls with ketchup. She wrote "murder prank" in red letters, then screamed at Nia, pretending someone had broken in. Nia had a panic attack. Jada made $8,000 off the video. Then one day, Nia disappeared. We all panicked, except Jada. She told everyone not to worry. Even posted a video titled, "Where's Nia?" with a clickbait thumbnail of her fake crying. She made merch with Nia's face on it, shirts that said, "Missing" or "Hiding." It went viral. Sponsors poured in. She made money off her sister's misfortune. People thought it was another one of her elaborate hoaxes. Let me tell you a story about my once famous sister. Her name was Jada. Our parents were decent, hard-working people. Mom cleaned offices. Dad worked overnight shifts as a janitor. They weren't rich, but they raised us with love, decency, and limits. But Jada wanted more. She wanted followers. She wanted fame. She wanted money. When she was 14, someone told her about YouTube. That was the start of everything. She started skipping class to film skits and reaction videos. Her grades fell. Her attitude changed. And when her channel wasn't growing fast enough, she looked at other creators and saw the trend. Pranks. They were getting millions of views, so she escalated. It started out harmless, I guess, like the time she hid my PlayStation and pretended it was stolen. But then it got cruel. She staged my expulsion from school by forging a letter and recording my tears. She faked a phone call saying our parents died in a car crash. I collapsed. She laughed. She posted that.
"Bro, it's a prank. OMG, you were crying so hard. Look at this face. That's thumbnail gold."
You said mom and dad were dead. She didn't care. The comments gassed her up. "Queen of Savage. Poor kid got wrecked. Best prank channel ever." I hated it. But what could I do? I was 13. She was 17, famous, rich, and mean. And she wasn't just targeting me. Our older sister, Nia, was 18, quiet, artsy, and kind. She hated the spotlight. That made her the perfect victim. Once, Jada poured glue into Nia's sketchbook, then posted the reaction video titled, "Artist Sister's Sketches Ruined, Not Sorry LOL," while Nia cried. Another time, Jada locked her in a closet for 3 hours, saying she was testing if Nia could survive a zombie apocalypse. Nia had asthma. She had no inhaler in the closet. She nearly passed out. When Mom screamed at Jada afterward, Jada clapped back.
"Relax, y'all act like she's dead. It's content, chill. Y'all just mad I make more than both of you cleaning schools."
She had a manager, sponsors, fans. She had no soul. Then came the worst one. She pushed Nia, literally, off a skateboard ramp while filming, called it extreme push prank. Nia dislocated her shoulder and screamed. Blood ran down her arm. Jada filmed it all, giggling. Dad was furious. "That's it. No more cameras, no more videos in this house."
"Bet. I'll get my own place, and when I'm rich enough, don't call me."
And just like that, she packed up, rented a tacky apartment with LED walls, and told her audience she'd escaped the haters. But she kept pushing boundaries. She once used a disabled man at the grocery store as a prop for her prank. She pretended he had stolen her purse, then screamed and filmed the poor man until store security arrived. When they realized it was fake, the man, who had Down syndrome, was in tears. Jada laughed it off. "Y'all soft," she told her viewers. "It's a joke. Chill." Another time, she broke into Nia's locked bedroom, destroyed her art supplies, and painted her walls with ketchup. She wrote "murder prank" in red letters, then screamed at Nia, pretending someone had broken in. Nia had a panic attack. Jada made $8,000 off the video. Then one day, Nia disappeared. We all panicked, except Jada. She told everyone not to worry. Even posted a video titled, "Where's Nia?" with a clickbait thumbnail of her fake crying. She made merch with Nia's face on it, shirts that said, "Missing" or "Hiding." It went viral. Sponsors poured in. She made money off her sister's misfortune. People thought it was another one of her elaborate hoaxes. So did the cops. The top comment read, "LOL, classic Jada. This better have a crazy twist." There was no twist. She filmed herself crying in front of her ring light. Full face of makeup, but tears for the algorithm.
Hey guys, this is not a prank. Nia's missing for real. I'm scared. If anyone has seen her, please contact us.
No one took it seriously. Top comment, "Fake tears again? Do better." Second comment, "She's probably hiding for the video finale." Third comment, "New low, exploiting family again." Even the police hesitated. "We've been burned by her before. We thought it was content." By the time they investigated, it was too late. Nia's body was found 2 weeks later in a lake. No foul play, just a slow decline no one noticed. She left a note in her sketchbook, half soaked and unreadable. She had been hurting for a long time. Jada still tried to vlog at the funeral. Grandma smacked the phone out of her hand.
Touch that camera again and I'll bury it with her.
When the truth hit the public that Nia was really gone, people flipped. Not with sympathy, with rage. Comment section after truth leaked. You made your sister a storyline. She died and you cashed in. You're not a creator, you're a curse. Jada's sponsors dropped her. Her channel was demonetized, then deleted. She got doxxed. Her friends vanished.
I thought she'd come back. I didn't mean...
But no one believed her. She had profited from pain too many times. She lost her apartment because money wasn't coming in as before. She moved back home. But the shame was unbearable. So she went to Grandma's. Now Grandma ain't sweet, and Grandma is a farmer, so basically Jada lives with Grandma in her farm.
You want a roof? You work the soil. You want food? You pull weeds. You got internet? Not on my land.
Jada cried, "Of course, no lashes, no filters, just dirt and silence." She tried to vlog. Grandma took her phone.
You film anything here, I break your fingers.
I wish I could say Jada changed, but I don't know. She feeds chickens now, shovels manure, milk goats. Real life, not the curated, scripted circus she once ruled. She talks to herself. Sometimes she still mimics the old intro, Jada, to an invisible camera.
What's up, Savage Squad? It's your girl.
Then silence. She hasn't posted in over a year. No one's asking. When I visit Grandma, sometimes I watch her dig potatoes. She doesn't look up. One time, she came and sat beside me.
I'm sorry.
I didn't respond. Couldn't.
I destroyed our family for likes. I'd trade all of it to undo it, but I can't. I really can't.
She sobbed. No ring light, no edits, no fans, just silence. So here I am, and Nia is gone. And Jada? She's still with Grandma on the farm, picking tomatoes with blistered hands and bitten nails. The downfall wasn't done yet. One night, a YouTuber named Lexagreen, a former friend and prank collaborator, dropped a nuclear expose titled, "Jada Unmasked, the Real Monster Behind the Camera." It was ugly. It was real, and it went viral overnight. In it, Lexa released never-before-seen footage of Jada mocking Nia's asthma attack, destroying her art while cackling, and whispering to the camera,
If Nia ever offed herself, I'd probably get 1 million subs overnight. Sad, but true.
People had always suspected Jada was cruel. Now, they had proof. The video hit 10 million views in 24 hours. And then came the stalker. Once her top fan, now her tormentor. He tweeted out her farm address with the hashtag, #RotWhereYouPlanted. It started as tire tracks on the driveway. Then came the teens, loud, laughing, recording. They piled out of a truck like they were visiting a zoo.
Oh my god, y'all, it's her! The murderer turned farmer!
Yo, Jada, how many subs did your sister's death get you?
Let's egg the coop! Chickens for clicks, right?
They threw trash at the porch. Spray-painted Clout Demon across the barn wall. One kid live-streamed it, narrating as he walked up to Jada, who was barefoot and shaking with rage. "Where's the ring light now, huh? Cry for the camera, queen of dead sisters." Jada lunged at him, but he dodged, laughing, filming it all. That's when Grandma stepped out, shotgun in hand.
One more word and your TikTok goes up in flames permanently.
They ran. Cowards always do. Jada stood frozen, eyes wide, cheeks red from the spit someone had hurled at her. Egg yolk dripped from her hair. Her once famous face covered in dirt and disgrace. And for the first time, the girl who had once made the world laugh cried where no one would ever care. The only ghost still haunting her now was the one she couldn't monetize, Nia. Thanks for watching. Do well to subscribe to the channel. Oh wait, there's nothing left. Thanks for watching, please subscribe. They didn't just want to silence me. They wanted to erase the sanctuary itself. They even interrupted Mass. One Sunday, during communion, Mason and Duke barged in with 2 more officers. The doors slammed open mid-hymn. I was lifting the chalice when the echo of their boots froze the congregation. Gotta report someone here's hiding stolen goods. Mind if we take a look, Father? You've mistaken a house of prayer for a den of thieves. They walked between pews, tapping Bibles, flipping through hymnals. One even pulled the altar cloth and laughed. We should turn this into a gym, a lot more useful. They left with nothing, but the damage was done. Fear had found its way to the front pew. Then came the setup. It was a warm Sunday morning. We were live streaming as usual. My sermon? Hi everyone, my name is Reverend Eric Odom, and I preach at Holy Spirit Parish. We're a small church nestled at the edge of Jericho Springs, a mixed, modest community that still clings to faith even when the system fails it. I always believed the church should speak for the broken, the forgotten. So when cases of police brutality started growing in our town, I began preaching about love and about the sin of racism. I didn't know it then, but that decision made me a target. Let me tell you what happened. It started the day I preached about police brutality. We often live stream our services. And after that sermon, everything changed. Some 2 officers were offended. It wasn't long before my sermons ruffled feathers, especially those in uniform. They came the very next morning, Sergeant Mason and Corporal Duke. Everyone in town knew their names. They had reputations, Mason with his broad chest and colder smile, and Duke with his twitchy hands and sunglasses that never came off, not even indoors. They came to my house uninvited. Nice little garden, Father. Shame if it got trampled. You want to keep your parish safe? Stop stirring the pot about cops. I preach the gospel, not fear. Next time you mention police brutality on that live stream, we won't knock. You keep talking, preacher, and we'll keep watching. They left with a warning, but I did not stop preaching. From that week on, a car parked across the church every Sunday. They never came inside, just stared. One Sunday, someone slashed my tires. Another, my microphone cut off mid-sermon. One evening, after Mass, they stopped me by the side of the road. Evening, Father. What's in the trunk? A Bible, a communion set. Figures. Must be where you hide your drugs. They laughed. Let me go. But it didn't stop there. They started targeting my parishioners. Once a teenage boy named Isaac, part of our youth choir, was handcuffed one evening while waiting outside the church gate. His only crime? Waiting for his little sister to finish altar rehearsals. Officer Duke had spotted him, radioed backup, and they threw him against the fence like he was some kind of gangbanger. I'm just waiting for Sarah. And I'm just doing my job, choir boy. They pushed him into the back of the squad car, handcuffed, in front of the congregation. It took 3 hours and 2 church elders to get him released. No apology, no explanation. Jamila, our gentle organist, 60 years old with arthritis, was leaving the chapel after evening choir practice. She carried her red handbag like always. Duke stopped her right outside the gate. This yours? You sure you didn't lift this from some old lady at the mall?
That's my purse, son. My husband gave it to me in '98.
He didn't care. Shoved her against the brick wall so hard her glasses shattered. They searched her bag and let her go without a word. She walked home trembling, holding back tears. But the worst came quietly, one Wednesday afternoon. A young member of the men's fellowship, David, came running into the rectory. His face was pale, He had seen something. Reverend Eric! What is it, son? I saw Sergeant Mason last night. He was behind the church in the alley. He had a jerry can. I swear I smelled gasoline. I stared at him. He was shaking. I think he was going to burn the church, but he saw my flashlight and ran. I didn't record it. No proof. I'm sorry. I believed him, but when we reported it, no one listened. Even within the church council, some whispered that David was imagining things. But I knew the truth. And that's when I realized they didn't just want to silence me. They wanted to erase the sanctuary itself. They even interrupted Mass. One Sunday, during communion, Mason and Duke barged in with 2 more officers. The doors slammed open mid-hymn. I was lifting the chalice when the echo of their boots froze the congregation. Gotta report someone here's hiding stolen goods. Mind if we take a look, Father? You've mistaken a house of prayer for a den of thieves. They walked between pews, tapping Bibles, flipping through hymnals. One even pulled the altar cloth and laughed. We should turn this into a gym, lot more useful. They left with nothing, but the damage was done. Fear had found its way to the front pew. Then came the setup. It was a warm Sunday morning. We were live streaming as usual. My sermon? Let justice roll like a river. Halfway through, I saw them at the back, Mason and Duke, walking fast. Reverend Eric Odom, you are under arrest for possession of narcotics and inciting unrest. Gasps filled the church. My deacons moved to shield me. Duke shoved them aside. I was cuffed, still in vestments. Let the Lord judge between us. The video went viral within hours, but the department backed them up. Some criminals hide behind hoods, others hide behind collars. Reverend Odom was no man of God. Fake witnesses came forward. CCTV footage showed me meeting a known dealer, footage later proven to be edited. A bag of drugs was found in my glove box. In court, the judge, Harold Lemons, who had a long friendship with Mason, smiled as he sentenced me. God may forgive you, Reverend, but the law must punish. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I was sentenced to 5 years in state prison. Prison was hard, but not hopeless. My faith kept me warm in cold cells. I began writing, coded letters disguised as biblical parables, to a loyal church member named Marcia, now a young journalist. Each letter contained truth, dates, badge numbers, victims' names. Inside, I earned respect. They called me Father G. Outside, my flock was quietly organizing. Jamal, half blind now after his police beating, became an activist. And a young hacker from my church, Malik, teamed up with another brave member, Tanya, a nursing student by day and genius by night. They broke into Duke's house while he was on duty, downloaded dozens of hours of body cam footage from old flash drives. Some showed them planting evidence. Others showed brutal beatings and laughing about setting people up. Marcia began publishing their stories as the Pulpit Files. But the real trap came through an event we called The Return. The church announced I would preach virtually from prison, a revival. The police feared unrest. They flooded the streets. During the event, a former officer came forward, live, on stream. He confessed, named names. They made me lie. Reverend Eric was innocent. He warned them with scripture, and they hated it. The crowd filmed. Drones hovered overhead. Still, Mason and Duke refused to back down. So Jamal and Malik set the final trap. They staged a fight near an abandoned lot, near a school. Mason and Duke, in plain clothes, arrived. Hidden cameras recorded them planting meth in a teenager's backpack. I ain't done nothing. Shut it. You think we need a reason now? Smile for the devil, boy. Then the trap sprung. Drones flew down, live streaming everything. They tried to run. Mason fled into the woods. Duke vanished for 2 days. But the town rose up. People marched, demanding justice. The police chief, once proud of them, tried to distance himself. We are shocked by this behavior. We've always valued integrity. A manhunt began. Mason and Duke were found hiding in an old hunting shack near Cedar Forest. They were arrested. This time, there were no cameras missing. And guess who sat in the courtroom as they stood in chains? Me, Reverend Eric. Due to newly uncovered evidence, the evidence you once called lies. Gasps. Marcia revealed payments. Judge Lemons had been bribed. He was removed. The charges against me, dismissed. Still, when the truth came out, when the tapes were leaked and the officers were arrested, my name was cleared. After the court cleared me, I returned to Holy Spirit Parish. And you know what? The parish grew. People who once stood from afar now filled the pews. Some who had been silent now sang the loudest. My sermons, about mercy, justice, and unrelenting hope, reached far beyond our live stream. It was as though the fire they tried to start only sparked revival. Mason and Duke were sentenced to the very prison they once terrorized. But now, they wore orange. Look who's preaching now, Sergeant. They were beaten, humiliated, spat on, placed in solitary. Guards who once feared them now looked the other way. And Mason and Duke? They went from ruling the streets to being ruled inside prison walls. Their reputation preceded them. The same hands they used to cuff now cuffed them. Ain't you the one who planted dope on my cousin? Guess who's your new bunkmate? Back off. Don't act tough now. Where's your badge, officer? Or did it melt in here? They were beaten, spat on, stripped of power, left in the corner of the same cell block they used to dominate. One morning, they were cleaning toilets. An old inmate passed by and shook his head. You used to think you were God in this town. Now look at you, cleaning up after the real saints. Even the guards turned blind eyes. One of the correctional officers was a man whose brother had been falsely imprisoned years before by Mason. He didn't raise a hand. He didn't need to. His silence was enough. Sometimes the shepherd must walk through fire to save his sheep. And sometimes the wolves forget. The shepherd carries a staff. Thanks for watching.